Just in case, see the Xanadu, and on this channel we talk all about small scale market gardening, which includes generating your own gas, your own methane if you will. Not to mention creating an anaerobic compost tea for my garden. Not to mention be able to take a waste product and turn it into something I now need. Yeah, this is my biodigester, y'all. Through this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to make one of these things, or at least how I made this one. She's almost done at this point. Hopefully throughout the course of the video, we'll have her all complete. Here we go. As I get older, I really start to understand that there's a lot of stuff that I just don't understand. The more and more I go through this journey, and the more successful I become in my journey, I'm able to purchase other things and kind of play around with ideas that I've had, and other ones that kind of just pop up. It really makes me wonder just about how things are really going, or why more things aren't a little different, such as energy. I have seen people heat houses, cook food. In other countries, biodigesters and the use of methane and natural gas is not uncommon at all. This is what gets me the most, man, especially here in California, where I'm constantly hearing about emissions and just smog and just pollution and all these things. I'm literally taking waste, y'all, and I'm turning it into a needed fuel. I feel like freaking Doc from Back to the Future, you know what I'm saying? The second one, when that cat was just using trash to make his machine fly. We have these capabilities here, and yet we never really utilize them, and I don't really understand why. We're using products and things that hurt. This phone, like I just said, I mean, right now there's people mining dangerous ass mines to get the lithium and whatever it is that's needed. Talking now a lot about electrical cars. That takes even more of those resources in order to have more of those things go. And then not to mention, after those batteries and whatnot have depleted, we're not going to fill the earth with them. Doesn't really make sense to me, y'all. I don't understand why there just isn't more of a call for conversion to more of a natural gas. You know what I'm saying? Keeping what we have that we know how to build well. We're just reusing energy, or we're taking waste. Again, we're taking waste and creating it into energy. The byproduct of the waste, or the exhaust of the waste, is nothing more than what was going to go into the atmosphere anyway. I'm not creating anything more to make this go. I'm not drilling anything to make this go. I'm simply taking something that was already here and utilizing its decomposition. Anyway, that's just my little rant on this. I'm really hoping that more people take on to doing things like this, finding other means and other ways to actually live their life, man. Anyway, on with the show. All right, y'all, it's been a couple days, and I'm actually gonna start the first step. Technically, the first step is taking off those bars. Really easy. That's why I didn't even show them in the video. Actually, you know what? I will show you these. You're gonna have to take off these bars that lay through here, and they connect to the, they actually connect to the cage. So that within itself isn't that big of a deal. However, you will need a star bit. Can you guys see that? You need a bit that can fit that type of nut. Possibly. I feel as though I have seen aquaponic tank, I'm sorry, I have seen IBC totes that actually just had your standard fill-ups. This right here might be your first and really only curveball. So now off to the real step one, if you will, step two, however you want to do it, and that is painting your IBC tote black. The reason you want to paint it black is so no algae buildup will occur, just like in a couple videos back. So that's one can of spray paint. Just in case you're wondering how many cans of spray paint it might take to actually black out an IBC tote. Here we are. This whole side plus that, one can. I got 4. Number 2. 2. Three. Oh. Well, here she is. It's been a few days. I think another question you have to ask yourself when it comes to building this, at least for myself, is what am I building it for? What's the major outcome? You know, what do I want to see out of this? I would love to see out of this. See how far it can go in heating my greenhouse. Ever since I've seen these things, man, my mind's been going crazy. So, in terms of the possibilities that could be done from generating your own gas. My major want out of this whole thing is to have gas. The idea is for me to create at least this much high, right? A gas. So my outlet will be a little bit underneath this point ultimately, which will allow me to have this whole top area filled with gas. It's probably worth it. Another reason a person will want this, for me it's more of a byproduct, but for you it might just be your primary, and that's to create great compost tea. Another area that this thing also provides is just an outlet of your waste, which makes pretty much all these other things possible. The gas as well as the compost tea. But it's an outlet of your waste, you keeping your waste on your property, ultimately where it's now making you money. Be that because you're using this more for free than it is for whatever, you know, wherever you buy your gas through. You're now generating it for free, at least certain rooms of your house. So it'll be cutting down your bill, ultimately giving you money. These things are gonna be ill. To be quite honest with you, y'all, I don't really understand why I don't see millions of views on things like this. It's really interesting to me. Gas right now, dude, is like, just for regular gas, it's at $6.24 as, at least around my area, as I make this video right now. Last time I filled up my van, it was over $150. That's pretty crazy. I would think things like biodigesters and other means of where people can actually create gas would have a lot more views. I've heard and read of people running cars off of methane as well. Baffles me, man. But we're gonna get involved right now and start the plumbing process. I got a lot of my ideas from a video that a channel that I will link down below. He has a lot of really great information. I got a lot of information from him. Also got a lot of information from another dope dude that, you know, dropped a lot of information about the design of your biodigester. The one thing I am definitely going to be doing is using all 3-inch pipe, PVC. Now this stuff, I will tell you, it is not as easy as using something smaller. The 3-inch pipe allows a lot more gas to be produced and then exported out at one time through my system. So again, I'm looking for a lot of gas, more gas than I am anything else in this whole entire system. Everything else is just a byproduct to me. Pretty much this whole entire unit is going to be at 3-inch because 3-inch again is probably the biggest that you can find. Somewhat easy. I didn't do anything Amazon. I literally went and bought everything local. If I did go Amazon, I'm pretty sure I can get things to me a lot faster. So you're gonna need, for this build, just one 10-foot 3-inch pole. It's all dusty because they don't sell these that often. At the end of the day, y'all just use what it is that you can find. You're also gonna need some uniseals. Now I'm going uniseal. I always go uniseal with anything pertaining to water in my tanks. I've been using uniseals now for years. My first aquaponics tank has always been uniseal. Uniseal. I can't speak highly enough of these enough. When it comes to things like this, bulkhead fittings are cool, but to get my arms in here and actually be able to cinch stuff down is really, really hard. A uniseal allows me to actually utilize the pressure of the pipe to create a seal in my tank, so no water connects it. So you're definitely gonna need a uniseal, 3-inch uniseal. And if you have 3-inch uniseals, that means you're gonna need 4-inch hole saw. You don't have to use any of this stuff, y'all. You can do whatever it is you want. Like I said, bulkhead fittings do work. I just find bulkhead fittings to be a pain in the butt, so I don't like using bulkhead fittings. Uniseals have been tried and true for me. Yeah, just real easy, real just manageable. They're dope, dude. Funny how the uniseal thing works. You have to make this saw slightly bigger for your uniseal, all that extra rubber as well as the expansion of your 3-inch pipe pushing through. You're gonna need to have a little bit bigger space, right about 1 inch. And there's grids online as well. You can go on and you'll see exactly what size hole saw you'll need for the uniseal you desire. Actually, I can take you guys off. The direction in which it's going to be laying in its final resting place. That way I can really see it as I build it. All right, now let's go over a little bit of the reason as to why I'm building this out the way that I'm building this out. Online, there's several different, or there's a few different, like I was getting at before. There's several different videos, but there's few different styles of DIY biodigesters out there, particularly when it comes to how they are plumbed. The reason I'm deciding to go with only, actually technically one PVC all the way to the bottom, which is only gonna be my inlet. The reason I'm only gonna use this is because it now helps, to me in a way, it's just like another safety point. A lot of other biodigesters, you have where there's 3 PVC pipes going all the way to the bottom of your tank with holes sawed in them on various degrees of the pipe. Having all these pipes, to me, down at the bottom where your sludge and all your organic matter, your crap, and whatever it is that you decide to put into your biodigester, that's on you. You don't want that stuff coming out. And I feel like the more pipes I have that are down there, the more likely of that to happen. Now, I do understand the big holes, right? For those that have built them like this, I do understand the big holes under the correct amount of pressure with the correct spacing keep that from happening. I totally get that. However, if I don't need that to be down there, why do that at all? As well as, like I was kind of getting at before, doing it this way now cuts off the amount of liquid inside of my tank and gives me more gas. So I'm constantly, feeding that into whatever catchment that I want. So that's why I'm deciding to do mine that way, more so as a fail-safe. I'm gonna start kind of mocking this thing up, make sure that these final ideas are sound and valid. The way I want to do mine, something like that. On this corner, we put my inlet of food. Where I'm going to be building this gently slopes down. So I figure if I put my inlet of food here and allow it to flow out, the whole entire surface has more of a chance to get more food in it and more basically fuel in it at any given time. We're actually going to drill the outlet hole. Yeah, actually go there and have it go across with my cutoff, hopefully aiming right about here. Another reason why I'm going this direction as well is because, let me put this there. You really want to keep in mind where your outlet is, right? I'm just kind of keep everything going in the same direction when it comes to outlet. Even the inlet, ultimately it needs to be running more this direction, right? So if I needed to put something in here, blast it out, I have at least that much more momentum going that way for filling and just blasting this thing out if need to, and or just filling in general, because I do need to fill this thing up. Maybe I'll put like a little Amazon list down below so you guys can get all this stuff. Hey y'all, so it's a couple days later. I decided to go ahead and plumb this up. Already marked it up. Give me a second. I gotta go get my glasses and stuff and blow my nose. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I couldn't find my glasses. Dude, these glasses, yo, always something with the glasses, Gotta wipe them off, gotta keep up with them. I've always sucked at glasses. It's even like sunglasses. When I used to wear sunglasses, that's why I always got cheap ones, because every time I got really good ones, I would just end up breaking them or losing them or something like that. I digress. So what we're gonna do, kind of just draw a little circle. Boom, boom, and boom. Right now, y'all, I'm simply gonna just be drilling the 3 holes for the 2 gas outlets in my inlet. All right, so we got our holes up. Brush off the debris. Drop these on in. Seeing that this is going to be my inlet, y'all, I'm going to drop my tape measure down there to see exactly how long it should be. About 4 feet. So that means I need 4 foot of this tube. Now that we got our 4-foot section cut out, we're gonna actually make a quick modification to this as well. Now you kind of see how you have the cut. Hopefully it's about, yeah, it's about the same. Yeah, y'all. For this, man, I figure, you know, I just really want a big enough outlet so that nothing clogs. You can put some soap and water on this. I normally don't even do this. Yeah, with it being tapered, it's a lot easier, yeah. Yeah, that was almost too easy. Bada bang. Cool. Yeah, the Gauss outlet right here, still kind of wonky because of this coupler I had to do, but it does make things a little bit more shaky. The way it's going to look is we're going to drop another uniseal in, and probably this area here, y'all, is going to be my outlet, or at least where I start my outlet for all the water that's going to start, or compost tea, actually, I should say, that's going to start to form in here. I'm going to put it right about there. The reason I'm not putting this in is because it's not placed yet. In order for me to do what I want to do, the tank actually needs to be inside of the cage, because as I put it, the tank into the cage, if I have this on right now, it's just going to knock everything apart. I probably could get away with putting the uniseal on though. But so far, so good, y'all. I'm liking the way it looks. All right, y'all, we back at it. I have been having a hell of a time finding this. This is the same type of hose that is used inside of the heating floors, which means we can now get this to where it needs to be, but I'm gonna have to get over there. I'll meet you on the other side. All right, y'all, so here we are, pretty much the resting place, or where I'm going to be putting my bioreactor. I'm sorry, my biodigester. The reason I had to wait because I want this line to be actually at the bottom of the tank. I figure it's smart to go ahead and put something on the bottom of this metal tank, especially because what I'm going to be putting on the bottom of this tank is for heating, and this is going to be a pretty damn cold area come the middle of January. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make a little bit of a barrier so that all my heat isn't going to be dissipating through the metal. This heater was a trick that I'm getting from DIY Off-Grid. I think that's the name of the channel. I'll put it down below if it's not. I thought that was a really smart way of going about it. Do your best to put something like this inside the tank, but it's going to be kind of hard though as well. You know what I mean? My goal is to actually make a bit of a coil with this hose or this line, and doing that inside of the tank with it being sealed off might be a little bit of a pain in the ass. So now I'm going to try to make this coil happen. I'm literally shooting from the hip on this one, y'all. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going for it. So the overarching idea here is to get this here. Get this knife, get this knife and cut open this coil. Is to get this coil underneath the tank, and then it heats up the excrement. Should I call it excrement? It heats up the material that we're going to be putting inside of the tank. That material needs to be, or the digester needs to be at least, I've heard at least 70 degrees, I've heard more. Basically, it needs to be as hot as it possibly can in order for the bacteria and all the microbes or everything that's needed to really get down and begin to do what they need to do, which is break down all of my slurry material that I'll be putting inside of this tank. So they needed to be at a certain temperature, and the hotter the better. That's why I put it on a heater. What's cool about this, or at least what I feel is cool about this, you may not feel this is cool, and I get it, but at least for now, I feel like this is cool. Yeah. I'm gonna hook this up to a heater, a tankless water heater, a tankless natural gas water heater, which will fill this line up with beautiful hot water. That's gonna constantly keep us nice and warm down at the bottom. That heat's gonna go into the tank and keep the stomach nice and happy so it can do what he needs to do. Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty much just self-contained. Up in here, we'll measure this out. I don't know why I put it in here in the first place. Give me a second to wrestle with this line, try to figure out how I'm gonna make this coil here. I think I got a pretty good idea of how I'm gonna cinch everything down. But how I'm gonna get it to cable around and end up where I want it to end up, that's a different story. Well, y'all, I wrestled, and I couldn't quite get this coiled correctly. Now looking at it, I mean, I'm wondering, I could build a grid. It's gonna take more time, and I am kind of in a pinch. I would love to get a hold or utilize a lot more of the heat, or just the ambient temperature. Sorry, it's getting nasty. Let me plot off. Use a lot more of the ambient temperature that we have, get the biodigester started, so I can actually begin to maybe make gas before it gets too cold, so then I can actually start this thing up. So I don't want to take too much more time. It's actually not too bad. As soon as I get this thing on there, everything will kind of just settle into the right place. I would like to have it more coiled in the center. Knows this might be enough. I'm hoping that it is. The outside corners all nice and toasty. I mean, you got to remember, this is going to be pretty much predominantly liquid and just very loose solids, which is going to make a very, very, very good thermal mass accumulator, which means heat is just going to get trapped inside of this mass, right? Part of the beauty of this. As it rises, heat is, I guess, in a way, going to kind of stack up, right, until it fills up the whole biodigester, however long that takes. But when it gets there, it's going to be locked in there for quite some time. That's why we use hot water heaters in the house. Pretty sure for what I need to do out here that this is going to be enough. I live in Southern California, y'all. We get a lot of sunlight, even in the winter, although our winters can dump down into the high 30s, which will ultimately shut this thing off. That's kind of what this is here for. I'm just kind of being preemptive for that. If I can get it to 60 degrees, utilizing the radiant temperature from the night before or the day before, now coupling that with the radiant heat that's coming from the bottom of the tank, hopefully I'll be able to get up into that 70-degree mark even at night. And even if I'm not there at night, I know that I'm not going to be dumping all the way down to the 30s at night. So my biodigester will actually have more of a chance to start up the next morning, no matter how hot it is. It's a lot. All right, y'all, here we are, fully built. We got the my exit little part put in. This top right here is to make sure that no vacuum can actually happen and won't get a siphon. I will tell you again, I'm pretty certain, I'm gonna be going back around all my uniseals and plugging them in with some silicone, specifically this one. Right, that's the only one that's kind of in the most jeopardy. A couple things I've added to the biodigester. Went ahead and just put this hose on there. It's not really attached to anything just yet, but we'll end up probably putting this in part just in a little bucket of water for the meantime, in between time. It's gonna let me know that we're actually getting gas here pretty soon. But ultimately, y'all, let me turn around this way. Ultimately, the next step in this is to actually fill it up. I guess let me finish showing you guys what I've added to it. Went ahead and put this little funnel on there. I don't know if this is going to be the end all be all, but it's there for now, so it's going to work. Also put some Loctite around these uniseals. Again, y'all, first time I've ever used uniseals that I felt the pipe was moving a little bit too easy through them. And seeing that this is gonna be under pressure, I wanted to make sure that nothing's gonna pop out. So I went ahead and just put some Loctite around the uniseal, and that should be set here in the next couple minutes. I also took these pipes, so this gas inlet here, as well as that gaslet on that side, and I cut right about that much off. It's kind of just ending here in terms of the gas, the inlet. It's only the stem is only going about that far. It was going a little bit deeper, like down that far, which if you see here, guys, is right about kind of flirting with the area of the output, which is also the height, the maximum height of water or fluid that's going to be inside of the biodigester. So my water level is going to actually go up to right about this high. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting any water up there, and just for the most part making them stems. You can, actually I will try to show you. I'm going to go ahead and wait for this to lock in, and I can pull that out maybe. But it's really short now, y'all. Like I said, it's probably only right about there, which is giving us a lot of room. So basically the goal is from here, this area here, or this area really here, down this area here, will be how much liquid. That's going to be the water height of this whole entire biodigester. The rest of this stuff theoretically should be filled up with gas. I'm cool for the day. I'm gonna go and call it a day, really. Next week we'll be filling this thing up. We actually might even add a couple of the scrubbers to it. However, there's really no need to do that just yet. We have a long time before this thing's actually even producing gas. Good news is that next week we actually do have some temperatures getting closer to 100 degrees. We do have like a 60 degrees day 2. We're in the flicker, y'all. Some people call it the shoulder season, but around here in California, it gets really, really dramatic. So it gets hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm hoping to utilize as much of those hot days as I possibly can next week to get this thing up and just warm enough. I end up throwing a fishing, like a little fish pond heater or a fish tank heater in there. I'm not 100% certain just yet. That might happen. Another thing that might happen, y'all, is I might end up installing a stirrer here. I kind of cut this thing a little too low now. We might install like a little stir here if I can. If I can't do it here, I'll probably have to put it someplace over here or something like that. Just something I can stir, probably over here. It would be cool to keep it here. We'll see. We'll see what I can do to make that work, if we can make this work. But I don't think there's going to be enough clearance here now, so that just may not work. Like I said, we'll probably have to put it on the side. With the stir, I can actually release a lot more of the gases because I'm stirring it around, breaking it up, and allowing more stuff to kind of get ate and more surface space. Yeah, I kind of messed up to make the stir now that I dropped that little low. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we can make that work. It's the next couple days. That being said, I've really been thinking a lot about this, and I honestly do want to put a stir on this thing. However, what I was getting at before is that I've kind of boxed myself in terms of clearance. So I could actually cut this here and kind of make it go up and over if I choose to. I don't know. That might kind of suck. What I've kind of looked at is possibly drilling a hole here, dropping another 3-inch pipe down that. See, now I have one more uniseal that I can use. Dropping it down there, and then making this side, or making the whole, making the propeller part, if you will, a little bit shorter, just so I have clearance to this hole here, as well as the little indentation for the drain off that the IBC tote actually comes with. This little spout right here, it recesses back a little bit, and so I want to make sure I have enough space. So I don't want to necessarily make the propeller from here to here. I think I'm going to more so make it from here to here, dropping the hole there, and then I should be able to spin. Why I want to do this, y'all, is because of the way that the heater, especially the little coil at the bottom, I don't know, I kind of got a little bit nervous, and I ordered another heater that ideally I could just drop down the center. Right, I'll probably end up dropping it down this hole here. But I could drop this down the center, keep the contents of this tank until we begin to generate enough gas, which will in turn allow this thing to have the tankless water heater, so that it can actually generate itself or maintain itself, or the heat self-regulate, if you will. We have a little solar system around here, but yeah, maybe we can get that thing started. Anyway, put that here, put the heater down there, and then when I turn the propeller inside, what that will do is start to allow the heat to kind of distribute a little bit more evenly around the tank. Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, y'all. Really do wish I could have kept it right smack dab in the middle. Anyway, we're gonna go and see what extra pieces I have laying around, because if I don't have any extra 3-inch pipe, which I think I do, if I don't, however, I may not do this at all. I've seen several other builds where they didn't use a propeller. What they did was it looked like more or less they just added a heater right here at the intake. As you start putting your slurry in, it was already heated. Most people are only really putting in a 5-gallon bucket into these guys anyways. That's every day. So I don't know if that's going to be able to retain enough heat right throughout the course of the night and everything, especially seeing that this isn't insulated yet. That's another thing too, I guess I want to get at right now. If you plan on insulating this, there's no need to paint it black. I think I am going to insulate mine just to be on the safe side. I have a couple more days of heat. We're going to be doing a lot of 50s to 70s here pretty soon, but we still have several days that are going to be getting into the 80s. So I want to hurry up and start filling this thing up. Hold on, y'all. Let me go see what I got around the plot and see if I can't make this little dream come true. Lo and behold, would you look at here? That look like it's a 3 inches to me. Hell yes. So we have this. Cool. I think I have some 1 1/4-inch pipe laying around here and a couple caps. If I do that, dude, we're cooking with gas. Truth be told, y'all, we have mad 1 1/4 pieces laying around out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple more measurements. Phone died, but I did finish with the stir. Okay guys, so everything's done. The only thing I have to do now is fill her up. There's a couple other things like I was getting at before that I am going to add to this to make it work. But here, let me show you what I did with the stir. Pretty simple. As you guys can see, I just put it, I decided to put it here right against the plate. So I actually have a lot of room now to stir this thing up. You know, so yeah. Right now it's not stirring that great because I'm gonna do it like this. Just because there's nothing in it, but there you go. So there's nothing really keeping the little guide locked in. So this guide, y'all, I know a couple of people are gonna probably ask, this guide goes all the way down to the bottom. This stir is pretty much like a T like this, y'all. It's all I pretty much made and got it down there. So there's two 10-inch pieces attached to this stick via a 3-point coupler, all slip. So one cool thing that actually did work out with this whole thing is that 10-inch now is actually coming right against my feed pipe, right? So all the new food that comes in, this thing straight, all the new food that comes in now is going to get easily pushed around inside the tank. So that's cool. Now it's going to really help with evenly distributing the material that's going to be at the bottom around the whole entire tank, as well as getting it warm when we do have the coil on. I'm going to actually drop, or attempt to drop the heater down here. I know there might be some people that were saying you could actually build heaters on the stir themselves. That actually would work, though. I just kind of want to do this and get this done. This pipe right here, the housing for my stir, this, like I was saying before, goes all the way down to the bottom, and it is right about 3 foot, I want to say 4 inches. The stick comes up to, at least I cut a 3.10-inch for this stick here. So it's going all the way to the bottom. And then it's coupled by two, like I said, 10-inch pieces that actually, and that both have caps on both sides of those that have been cemented in as well. But more than likely, y'all, we're gonna circle back around to this thing when we're actually producing methane. So yeah, hope this one helps. Stay tuned, y'all. There's a lot that's gonna be popping off with this thing. I do suspect that I probably will end up buying a bigger unit eventually, because I'm really loving this thing, man. That shit is tight. Yeah, dope. Got the C-stand in the way, but that's cool. So we got the biodigester and my old bioreactor. And now like the compost is over there as well. But that's going to be more so, more like a staging area is what I'm planning now. But anyway, hope this will help, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.